Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby, and I'm Dr. Moby. We are honored with a great guest today, actually, Mr. Elliot Vang with us. Hey, how are you? Good.
Hey,
Good to
Doctor, awesome to be with you. Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform, and it's an honor for me to join you today.
Okay, thank you for coming. And for audience sake, I would just kind of go over his website. If his first name elliotvang.com, and as you can see, he's a certified high performance coach, and he does a lot of positive development and success habits and seeking opportunities and trying to build all phases of your life. So let's hear from him. So tell us about your self first, and what do you do?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Elliot Vang, and I am a son of my refugee parents. They have since passed, but I like to mention that because I like to honor their legacy, right? And I am a husband to my wife and a father to my two lovely kids. So that's kind of a little bit about me and my background. And what I do is I'm a high performance coach. And people ask, "Oh, what is high performance? Right? What is that all about?" And usually people talk about high performance is associated with like athletes or superstars and stuff like that. But I say no. Yes, that's an aspect of it. But stay-at-home parents can be high performers. Students can be high performers. Anybody can be a high performer. And I just love having that conversation about what high performance is all about. So if I could go into that, or where would you like to go?
Well, we go everywhere.
Okay.
So I think the first question is always, a lot of these are actually what I think of basically high performance is actually coming up with why do you think this is important? First of all, why we think we need to optimize, and then why the lifestyle? Why is that change?
Yeah, because it's super important because people sometimes they go down a path that they're not necessarily enjoying or in a career that they're really want to do, but it's kind of what the family's been doing or what their parents expected of them, right? So it's like, where can we make those choices and changes so that we can enjoy the life that we have and we can create and design the life that we want.
Mhm.
Right. So that's why I go, why is high performance living, right? Those habits are super important to me, right? For that fact.
Okay, and a lot of people actually ask, what is the reason for any change? What about lifestyle? My view, I mean, I'll just share. So, a lot of things to optimize your efficiency, to optimize your best of you, is I think, we can have actually a status quo where we definitely are performing, but not the best efficiency. So it could be best physically fit, mentally fit, as well as emotionally. But to achieve all these goals, it is what we need. And basically, by default, our natural inclination for the body is we can actually do that. But unfortunately, with all these changes, with all the stresses, with all the changes our lifestyle, they could develop unhealthy things, and then it is a drag, in my opinion. It is a drag to our how we operate, how we. So basically, I tell a lot of people it is to get yourself back, pretty much, not for anybody else, right? Is that pretty much that's what gets you the high performance, right?
Yeah, right. It's just like, let's say, take athletes, for example.
Mhm.
Athletes, they're performing at the highest level, right? Pro athletes, but they still need a coach, right? They still need that coach to make minor adjustments to their game. And it's a daily practice, right? How do they get better? They daily practice that habit to get better, right? And we as humans want and what we want to create and design, we just had to practice those habits on a daily process as well, right? Make it a daily practice to make sure that we're putting in those habits. And like you said, right, to change. not just about the physical piece, but physical, emotional, mentally, spiritually, like all of that, right? Encompassing all of that together so that we can be whole, right? And kind of like taking a pizza. We don't want to be missing a slice, right? We want to have that whole pizza and have each piece of that puzzle together so that we can feel whole and be whole.
Hmm. And a lot of things I've seen with my clients too is that we with time we go into this state where we realize that is the new norm, or we slip into inefficiency and so forth, and then we think that's the best of it. But actually, the best we already passed that, and that we once. So it happens to me when people, a lot of my patients come and they develop sleep problems, sleep apnea, and they're slow, sluggish, and they kind of struggling to do everyday work and so forth. And then we fix their sleep, and then they say, "Oh my God, I was missing all that." So the "oh my God" moment comes, and that's exactly, I think happens. The coach or the person that kind of gets them back to and say, "Oh my God, I could be better. I could be in a different state of mind, or in a state physically as well as So those are I see that all the time. So I'm sure you have seen those too, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be hard or complex, right? We just have to make it simple. We already have it within ourselves, but then we keep going down this rabbit hole or this hole, and then we don't climb ourselves out, and it goes deeper and deeper, and then it gets hard, right? So there's stress level raises, anxiety level, overwhelm, like all of that comes in, and then we're like, oh, that's too hard. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't make that jump, right? But it's like, it can be simple to make these small changes so that you can live that life you want to live, right? Enjoy that life that you create, right? And it can be just making those small, simple changes.
Yeah, and so tell me, how is your methodology, or how do you start? Let's say I'm your client.
Yeah, originally, first, what we do is I'll have an assessment, right? Assess where they are right now, so they can see where they're at currently, and for them to be okay with that, right? Because sure, you may not, that's not where you want to be, but that's where you are now. We can't change that. You're there now. Now, where do you want to go next, right? What is that big goal that you have, that you want to achieve, or you want to get to, that level you want to get to? And then we'll look at that, and then see that picture, kind of be in that realm, and what are those feelings that come up once you get there? What will it look like once you get there? And then, okay, see that, keep that picture, but then come back to the present, right? Be in the now. And then the choices you're making today, are they aligned with that big goal, big dream you have? Is it congruent with that big goal, big dream you have? If it is, move forward with that then, right? Just take action. This time of the year, right? New Year's resolutions, it's a big thing. People want to lose weight, right? That's a big one. And I see a lot of people lose weight every year, same resolution, they just put a new year on it. So it's the same resolution, but it's like, 2021, 2020, 2019. Okay, you've had that for 3, 4, 5 years now. What are you doing to change that? Right? So having that goal, by March 1st, I want to lose 15 pounds. Perfect. Come back to today and make those choices today to see if it's aligned with where you want to be on March 1st. Oh, I feel so tired today. I can't go get my workout in. I can't go exercise. Is that aligned with where you want to be on March 1st? No. Right. So then you have to find out within, okay, I may not be able to go and get my hour out in, but I'll go and do like 20, 25, 30 minutes, like half of it, just so that you could keep that momentum going. Because people get into the habit of saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow leads to next week and the next month. And then that excitement dies out, right? And then that energy and that momentum they had dies. Oh, okay, I can't do it anymore. I'll put it off till next year. So let's just align what your choices you're making today with where you want to be and where you want to go. And then make those decisions and choices. Because you have control over that. We have control over that. Nobody else does. Nobody's saying, Elliot, you can't go work out today, stay home. It's like, no, I'm making that choice. I was like, no, even though I'm tired, I'm burned out, I have to go and get this in because that's where I want to be, right? That's where I want to go.
Hmm. And that is, I've seen that also with a lot of people want kind of quick results.
Yeah.
So they want quickly lose weight, whatever amount, and in short time, and they say, oh, and then same for surgery. They want to get surgery done, and they say, oh, we'll feel better. But problem is, in 1 year, 2 year, if you don't fix your basic thinking, then you will be on back on the same track.
Yes.
And it's like, if you win a lotto and if you don't know how to manage the money, a lot of lottery winners are poor, very few are rich few years later,
Yes.
because you are bad at management.
Yes.
Right,
Very much
right.
so. And that's just like you said, right? Going back to the basics, keeping it simple. Don't make it too complex. Don't make it too hard. Keeping it simple and go back to those basics of building in those habits.
Mm-hmm. And those, it's fascinating and interesting for many aspects. I tell a lot of my patients, COVID is successful. In a, it's sad that it is pandemic
Mm-hmm.
for us, of
Mm-hmm.
course, but that is a simple virus, and it only takes advantage of simple principles, which is cleaning. And so it spreads from that. It does not have kind of weird properties, but it has a very simple thing. But look what it has done. It has really ruined everything. So, that's exactly the basic. Once you mess up the basics of your lifestyle, and then forget about, you can do anything, but it's not going to take care of. Okay. So because our body, human body, and nature, they are really built on, in my opinion, very simple principles, which is discipline, and where it's the organization. And it's, if you look at everything, as I look at birds, look at plants, I mean, they are all timed and very nicely, you know
Mm-hmm.
blooming, spring, and the birds are up in the morning, they are getting food, and so they have a very beautiful rhythm. And so I don't know, people realize, but I say, look outside, don't listen to us. Okay, just look outside, appreciate the beauty, get the positive energy, and you can feel that if you try to copy that. Get up early morning, you know and do your work, and don't stay late night, and get plenty of rest. You have, I think, anybody have addressed the basics,
Yeah.
and then eat healthy.
Yeah.
So eat healthy, do activity, do not sit indoors for hours and hours, because then it does not, you cannot catch up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is slow and steady. So a lot of, I think, biggest misconceptions are about lifestyle is, that is 1 day or few months thing, and then once you have achieved that goal, then you go back to your bad habits. And then guess what, you're right, then you just change the years, that
Yes.
2021. I love that when you said that.
And I love what you said earlier, right? About having that quick success or that overnight success kind of thing. If you want that, like high performance coaching isn't for you, right? Because high performance coaching is about getting to that high level and then maintaining it for the long term, right? Getting to those habits so you can sustain it over the long term. It's not, yes, people can work 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks and crush it and then do well in their job. But then what happens when they come back down, right? They crash, they get tired, they're exhausted, and they can't maintain that working at 80, 90-hour work weeks for a long time. Right. So it's like, how can we build in these habits so that we can maintain this over the long term? Because that's where we ultimately want to get to, right? Get to perform over the long term, right? To get to that high level.
Hmm. So I think, yeah, that is very, very important, that as you said, that want to make sure develop these habits into, and gradually. And I tell them, nobody's counting that you have to do this in this short time. Okay, whatever we do gradually. And I always share my example. I lost 100 pounds 4 years ago. Okay, 4 years has passed, and I'm still same. I'm not gained even a single pound, because I knew, before all this, I used to think that, being a physician, how stressful it is. So, and yeah, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, you are not young anymore, and you are not in your 30s, or so it's very hard to lose weight or do things." And I say, "Yeah, that's true." But I always first thought, the only way to change is to go in a boot camp or something. Yeah, actually. And I looked up a lot of boot camps, and I said,
Uh-huh.
well, they don't make those boot camps, and maybe I should go there, spend 1 month, and I'll be nice and trim, and I'll come back. But then the question was, if you come back, you are into this same lifestyle, you are into the same bad habits. Well, how are we gonna address that? So the problem was learning the new ways to address all these. I mean, my stresses has not gone away. Nothing has gone away, probably doubled. But I am better in dealing with it.
Yeah.
I'm super efficient in organizing it, and I know how to organize it. So I think that was missing for me. So since I learned that, I now tell everybody, no, no, your stress is not going to go away. Yes, is it stressful? Stress induces carbs, craving? Absolutely. And does that mess up your sleep? Absolutely. A lot of things, bad things happen. But problem is us not knowing the way out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I always say, the solutions there are all kind of solutions. You have solution A, B, C, D. Now, some are very smart solutions or very good solution, less money spent, but
Mm-hmm.
it addresses or fix the basic problem. On the other hand, you can put band-aid on your problem and then keep working on that. And that's also solution. Nobody says it's not a solution, but that's not the permanent fix, right?
Yeah. And I love what you just said, right? There's no one right way to do this. There's many
Mhm,
different ways. And
mhm,
find out one way that works for you, right?
mhm,
One way that Dr. Moyman might fit you, might not fit me, or one way that fits me won't fit you, right? So find that way that fits you so that you can get to that point. And like I said, you could have went and you could have made all these changes. Just, your life's not going to change. Stressors don't change, right? But you were intentional about what you were doing when you wanted to keep that weight off, right? You lost it, and now the intention is there for you to keep it off, right? You don't want to go back down that road. So just making those types of decisions, right? Because you had that control. Nobody else has that control over you. Like we as individuals, we control that ourselves.
mhm. So yeah, that is true. We all control that, and to learn the basics of that. And solutions, many times I've seen solutions are very near or very simple, but we are not paying attention. It's doing same thing again and again that leads to the wrong or right results, both ways, right? And like you said, I love it, is that everybody is unique. There are things might work for you, might not work for me,
Yeah.
because we are genetically unique. And then the response, the disease as well as the treatment differs. The results differ, absolutely. And then it might work for one, it might not work for another. So everything has to be individualized. So everything has to be taken account to your needs. And many people ask, why should I change? Well, who's going to benefit is you and me. I mean, you yourself are going to benefit the most out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else, not Elliot, not me, right?
Yeah.
It is you who are going to get
Yeah.
benefit of any changes, whether good or bad. So those are really helpful, but I see, we learn a lot from our patients. I mean, from my client, I mean, many
Yes.
times I remember one of them shared with me a picture of how they used to look when they were not healthy, lifestyle, and they kept that in the wallet. And he says, "Oh,
Mm,
I keep looking at it to remind me that never go back to that."
mm,
So I said, "Yeah, that's a motivational, right?"
yeah. And that worked for that client, right? It might now not might necessarily work for the next client, right? It's like, oh, I that doesn't do anything for me. But I love how they found one way to motivate them to say, hey, I need to keep this off. And the way for me to keep this off is having that picture so that I can look at it every day, right? Or get to that urge of like doing things that's not aligned with where they want to go. Oh, yeah, look at this. Okay. Good thing I have this picture in my wallet to remind me.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, they kept in the wallet, but to actually learn out of it, that how it was, I don't want to ever go back to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I do same for clothes. I put it there, so I don't want to ever go back to that. I said it's not nothing else, but just to remind myself that yes, there was a time that I never thought it'll be. The other thing is, which is very fascinating, is the culture, or the whole context. Whenever we talk about lifestyle, whenever we talk about, the first thing comes out of anybody's mind is gym.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, oh, so they say, oh, the moment I ask somebody, let's focus on lifestyle, they say, oh, I joined the gym. I say, very good, but that's not the answer.
Yeah.
I said that buying equipment or getting to the gym is not going to help. I'm sorry, but that spending money is not the answer.
Yeah, that's just a piece of it, right? Because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I'm gonna take care of the physical piece, right? That's the gym, that's the physical energy, all of that. But we forget about the mental and the emotional and the spiritual pieces. Like, it's a whole. There's so many other different pieces to that puzzle, right? That's just only one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and so those are the one piece of the puzzle for sure. That if they work on just addressing the basics, healthy eating,
Yes.
and the other thing is, I have a lot of clients who have spent thousands of dollars. I met one of my clients spent 3 grand to lose 10 pounds.
No, okay.
So I said, why didn't you come to me? I lost 100 pounds and I spent $5.
Yeah.
I said, that shows how bad the system
Mm-hmm.
is. So yes, you need coach for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I needed coach. I mean, that is true. I think without coach, it is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is important that we all have somebody unbiased or giving. So when I was working on lifestyle, I used to show up every week, and that person did not take money for that. But for me, was a marker to show up there every week,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that she was expecting me to show my success.
Mm-hmm.
So coaching guys, so that is very important that we have a coach, and
Yeah.
like yourself. And so talk to us and we'll guide. Yeah, there was time we had problems, I had too, but we figured out for you, right?
Yeah, right. It's like you said, having that accountability partner as well, right? Your coach is your accountability. Oh my gosh, if I show up and I didn't do my homework or I didn't do what I said I was going to do,
Mhm.
that's your word. You only have your word, right? It's like, okay. And sometimes we all make mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you own up to it, right? Like, oh, coach, last week we had said this. I didn't get to it. I own it. That's my mistake. But here we go. I need you to help guide me and keep me accountable because I thought about you.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, my coach is going to hold me accountable to this. But things came up, life happens, all those other stressor piece, fine, right? Because we're humans, that's going to happen. But then own up to it and then just move forward. Like, don't beat yourself up and don't tell yourself, oh my gosh, you're no good, you're bad, you can't do this or do that. No, it happens. Be okay with it. Own it and move on. And be like, if Dr. Moby, you're my coach, like, sorry, Dr. Moby, I had this coming up this week. I didn't get to it. That was I own it.
Mhm.
But moving forward, I want you to hold me to that still. So then, right, And
Yeah.
then your coach is not gonna be like, "Oh, you're such a bad person." No, your coach, okay, thank you for owning up to that. Let's just move forward, and then that's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And and then working with, I mean, it took me 1 year, to reach this goal. So I did not do in one. I used to lose half pound, 1 pound every week,
Hmm.
and continue that trend, and till I reach, I mean, my goal was never actually 100 pounds, so it was 15, 20,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
the most, but it felt so good that I said, well, I'll continue with that. you know
Yeah.
but I then I realized, okay, I can write a book, which you see at the back. So I said,
Mm.
well, to write a book, it'll look very nice, 100 pound weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what does it cost? Let's just talk about losing weight, right? What is it costing you if you don't lose the weight? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have pain, my knees hurt, my back hurts, I can't enjoy time with my kids, I can't
Mhm.
go outside for a walk because it hurts. There's pain there. So what is it costing you to not be there and feel that like, oh my gosh, yes. Now look on the other side. Now what if I do lose that weight? How would I feel? Will I be able to enjoy time with my kids, my grandkids, go outside for a walk, enjoy the weather? Yes, you can, right? But like it's gonna take work. It's not like think today, tomorrow change, and then tomorrow you lose 100 pounds. No, it doesn't work like that, right? So it's gonna take work. But if you get with the right person, the right coach, the right mentor, they can help you down that path of. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take work, but you're gonna see those results, and then you're gonna be able to enjoy time with your kids, time with your spouse, time outside, right? Just enjoying that weather. So
Mm. And that is a very important point, actually, enjoying and mixing up with your normal life. So when I started, of course, when I lost all the weight and I started doing more exercise, and I used to go to my basement and do 1 hour of treadmill. Okay. So initially, for a few months, of course, my wife didn't say anything, but then she said, "Well, you're working all day, and then you come and spend 2 hours in your basement, and then what kind of time you have for us?" That's true, right?
mm-hmm.
Not much time. So then I said, "Well, she's right. Maybe I should rethink of what to do." So I didn't want to give up. So, but I said, "Okay, well, maybe I should start walking instead of running on treadmill." So I started walking in the room and in the hallways and talking to her, and I said, maybe let's do that. We both do walk and forget about my treadmill. Okay. And to my surprise, there was no difference in the goals. I was able to maintain everything. So you have to be a little bit creative, and you can do some activity, but if you make it a family affair
Yes,
and work with that, is a long lasting.
yes,
Okay. And
yes.
so now, it's funny, but my wife was always upset about whenever she say, "I'll go to mall." I say, "Oh my God, I have to go to mall." And now I say, "Let's go to mall. I can walk there and in the shops and so forth, and you can do whatever shopping you want." And then she said, "Wow, what a change!" I said, "Everything has changed. I am changed." Yeah. So
I
I think.
love that. I love that because, like you said, right, you were thinking about yourself, which is awesome, taking care of yourself.
Hmm.
But then your loved one said, "Hey, your wife was like, hey, how about us? Like, you're not spending time with me. Okay, get creative. Let's go do things together. Go to the mall. You go do your thing, and I'll get my walk in, and we're still spending time together, right?" And I just love how you got creative there, right? Again, it's not a one size fits all. Where Dr. Moby, you're just on the treadmill. No, no, no. Right? You're like, okay, I could I could change this up. Walk at
Yeah.
the mall, and you said it didn't feel any different, right? So it's like you still got you still hit your goal, and you're still able to do what you
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, on treadmill, if you achieve that by running at 4 miles or 5 miles, 45 minutes, you can double that, and in walking and take more steps during day,
Mm-hmm.
you reach the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the amount you have to kind of vary a little bit, but the goal is same. The process is same. The thinking is So be creative. So now, as a result, I have a lot of time in the world. Many times I'm actually doing some meditation when I'm walking. That's good for relaxation.
Hmm.
And then also maybe sometimes I answer emails and read the text, and that so a lot of work being done, and I'm walking. So, but you
Yeah.
can do that. You can do that while running.
And that was that again, right? Going back to what that was intentional on your part, right? You just didn't wait for it to happen. You didn't just didn't let it like, oh, maybe by chance it might happen. No, you were intentional about it. Like, no, we're gonna go to the mall. You can go do your thing, and I'll go walking. Right? There was the
Yeah,
intent there. And if we just think about like that of our life, like where can we be intentional so that we can still achieve these goals that we set out, but also still enjoy life,
yeah,
right? Like make it a family affair. Hey, fam, after dinner, we're gonna go for a walk. Go
yeah.
for a walk around the block. Half an hour walk or something. Come back. Like, hey, you got time with your family, and you still got some physical activity in. Perfect. You're good.
Yeah, and that is what we are going to so any final thoughts you have for audience? I think we are we already passed 30 minutes.
Yeah, I just want to say, be intentional with your choices. Right?
Uh,
Calendar it out. Put it on your calendar. Block it out. If you want to put out family time, do that. If you want to schedule dinner time so that you're making that a priority, say, oh, I need to have meal times with my family. Just
mhm.
schedule it out, block it out because you can do it. You already have it within you. Right? Just find it. Just dig a little deeper and find that within yourself to do it because you can do it.
And so I would tell everybody to basically check out your website, and also which is your first and last name .com, elliot.vang.com. So please check out him, and he's really great, as you can hear him. He's wonderful, and he can really get you back to your track and whatever your desires are. Hopefully, I hope that helps everybody to understand why it's important and what to do about it. So, with that, thank you for coming to our show. Take care.
Thank you, Dr. Moby.
Take care.